We are talking about that particular brand of friendly fire for creatives when you've asked someone for advice about this thing that you've just made, and they like you, but they may have some issues with this thing that you just made. Welcome to Celebration State, where we help Christian creatives to grow in their creativity and in their love for God as well. Today we're talking about critiques, advice, constructive criticism from friends, and why you need it and how to steward this well. In the book of Proverbs, it tells us that the way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but a wise man listens to advice. We don't want to be foolish, we want to be wise, and so we're going to give you some tips on how to do this well. Now, this is not for a relationship with a client or even with just like some stranger that happens to give you advice. You would handle those situations both differently than what we're going to talk about right now. What I'm talking about is when you're on equal footing with someone who's maybe a friend, some sort of an ally, and you're coming to them for advice, but your heart might get hurt when you ask for this advice that you might need. So here's how to do this well. Tip number one, make sure you're in a good place when you're coming into this kind of a situation. Make sure that you're not looking for validation from this person, that you want them to just say, no corrections needed, you're so amazing, this is the most beautiful and amazing thing I've ever seen. Make sure that you're not secretly hoping that they're gonna tell you that. Come to it humble, but also come to it strong. Make sure that you're not just super stressed out and feeling vulnerable when you're in this situation. Give yourself a nice, healthy headspace, and then you're ready to enter into this. Tip number two, define what help you're actually looking for. Maybe you want general tips, general advice about the whole thing that you've created, or maybe you want it to be very specific about this one area that you need help with. Be specific about that, verbalize that, be very clear about your expectations, set those boundaries, make sure that you tell the person to protect their heart and yours as they're trying to help you. What things are off limits because maybe you really like them the way that they are, or it's too late in the process to change those parts now. And then what areas are you actually really looking for advice on? If you are able to think about that in yourself and then verbalize it to the person that's helping you and giving you this advice, this is going to go really well. Tip number three, separate yourself from your creation. I know this is so hard. As creatives, we kind of feel like the things we've made are our little babies, and anything that someone says bad about our babies, it just feels like a reflection on us, on our identity as well, and this is not the case. The things that you've made are not your children. You may have poured your passion into them, you may have poured all of your heart into them, but if that thing needs a little bit of help, needs a little bit of correction, it doesn't reflect poorly on your identity as a creative. Just because you need help in this particular area, it doesn't mean that you're not a creative person. We are just all growing, and it's okay. It's all a part of the process. And if we don't receive the correction that we're given, we're really not stewarding our creativity well. It might be painful to receive these words of advice, these tips on what to fix, but in the long run, it's going to be so helpful and take your skills up to that next level. Bonus tip number four, if all of these things fail and you accidentally got your heart hurt in a critiquing sort of environment, go to God with it, give it to Him, ask Him to heal your heart and strengthen you in that secret, quiet place with God. Ask Him to show you who you are. It's going to be so amazing to create and to receive advice from this place of strength. And if some hurt did happen in your heart, pray for the person that hurt you. That's going to help you to forgive. So pray prayers of blessing over them and try to understand that they were coming to you and trying to help you. It is so important to steward not only the giftings that God's given us, this thing that you feel like He's asking you to do to glorify Him, but also our relationships as well, because the way that we treat people and steward their hearts is going to glorify Him too. Let me know down in the comments, are there any one of these tips that are harder for you to do than the other? If this video blessed you, please like it. It really helps support our channel. And if you want to come on future creative adventures with us, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Be so blessed.